What's up, everybody? Thanks for bearing with me while I figure out my audio issues. First off, here's OBS Studio, the program that I use for live streaming. I just wanted to go ahead and show you guys that I think I have everything figured out. As far as my audio here goes, that's a test on my desktop, my streaming PC. That's a test on my gaming PC. And before, for the longest time, I actually had these wires crossed in such a way that the audio out was actually feeding into this. So I had to mute this because it was coming through on this line, which, for the sake of capturing, I don't know if it affected the quality in any way. I probably did, because there probably was some interference the way the lines were crossed. They weren't being properly and truly mixed together. So that I squared that away, and then I went into my mic and I've just been kind of editing things here. Before, I used to have only one noise suppression in the very beginning, all the way up to like 13, if you see what this sounds like. If I take all this off, this is what my mic sounds like. So, and I like how clear it is and crisp, and I can talk low and whisper. But what happens is there's a lot of background noise. I got a fan blowing on my old streaming PC because it's old, and I always freak out about it overheating. So to cut all that out, I turn on noise suppression here at -13, and it does a decent job, but then it makes my voice sound weird, and there's some distortion still from the background noise. And for the longest time, I just toughed it out with that. And it had a noise gate and compressor, and then a gain boost with the compressor. That they weren't really all. I still have a little trouble understanding what all this means and how to properly balance and calibrate it correctly. But for the first time in a long time, I think I'm closer to figuring it out, or at least I have something better than I think was previously my previous configuration. So for noise suppression, what I figured out is I could put it to 0, which does the minimal amount of noise suppression, which is this, and then do all my noise gating, compressing, and gain boosting, and then have a second pass at, once again, the minimal amount. And it actually does way more than the one first pass does at -13. And then, just for you guys' reference, I think everybody's setup is different, and I encourage everybody to go and play with these until you figure out what works for you, the way you talk, background noise. If you have noisy keys, it's all going to play into how these numbers work out for you. So for me, my noise gate, I got it to pretty much go all the way down to -60. So that I just let it ride this all the way down until it's out for the close. And then for the open, I have it right about where keystrokes, right about where these keystrokes register. If I hit them hard, if you look down there. And then I kind of just played around with the takt times. This is how fast it comes in, how long it holds it, and then how fast it releases it. And I've also kind of had to play around with the release time so that it kind of fades out as opposed to just being cut off really sharply. And so this is with noise gate. And then, so just for reference again, -60, negative 39, 25 milliseconds, 0, 500. And then for my compressor, this is basically, from what I understand, how this works is once it gets up here to negative 6, which is up here, pretty loud. Where's that? Yeah, right here. The audio will be compressed by a ratio of 17, which basically means it won't clip out and go, basically it won't, I don't know how to describe clipping other than it just maxes out the audio. So instead of maxing out the audio, it'll compress it down by 17. This is how fast it does it, this is how long, or this is how slow it releases it after it does it. And I have no gain boost. So this is what it sounds like with that. So now, from what I also understand is it brings up the highs and it pushes down the highs and brings up the lows to kind of normalize it. That's why I call it the normalizer. This could all be wrong. And then for my gain boost, because I feel like this could be a little bit louder, I have another compressor that doesn't compress it at all. The threshold is the very lowest level it can register. It attacks as fast as possible and it holds it as long as possible. And it's basically at the rate that this decays is about 1 second or so, I think. It's a little bit more than 1 second, but whatever. And then I have it gain boosted at 4. And then I feel like this puts it so gets it as close to clipping as possible when I want to get loud, but hopefully the normalizer prevents me from clipping, even though I'm pretty sure I can clip like, yeah, there. If I really want to, I could clip, but because I do my streaming at night and I have 3 kids asleep in the room above me, I try to be relatively quiet. But yeah, this is my audio setup. Hope this helps any of you guys out there. So once again, thanks for understanding and bearing with me as I figure out my audio stuff. We should be good to go from here on out.